Madam President, dear Agnes told me it would have been great to visit you in return for your visit to me in Cape Town. General Secretary Graham Smith and the entire General Council, delegates, thank you for inviting me to address your Congress. I wish that I could have been here in person because I have such great memories of British and Scottish trade union solidarity with our movement. Your support for us through boycotts of South African products, by fundraising and solidarity with our trade unions were all part of our work together. There were also some wonderful parties with so many of you when I discovered the delight of Scottish waters rolling around my tongue and warming me from inside after the 22 years of drought inside the apartheid South African prisons. You've also given tremendous support to Community Heart to fund health and education programs in South Africa since liberation. I shall tell you more about this later. Through the committed leadership of the late Campbell Christie and especially the late Bill Spears, you work closely with the Scottish Committee of the Anti-Apartheid Movement and now with ACTA, Action for Southern Africa, Scotland, in solidarity with the people of South Africa. I hope you will make Mandela Day a great success this year. Please celebrate the great leadership of Nelson Mandela with O.R. Tambo and others, rather than praising just Saint Madiba. For that says, be passive, wait for a new Messiah to come and solve your problems. Colleagues, it is a people, through focused, united action that turns dreams of freedom into a decent life for all. What an enormous task that was before liberation, and even more difficult after liberation, as we struggle to transform a whole society of over 50 million people. We were shocked by the recent awful excesses of our police force, and I know it shocked friends and supporters everywhere. It is an unbearable tragedy when workers kill workers and when police massacre workers. Rebuilding a country is no task for weaklings. Despite this, we have achieved so much already in only 19 years, but there's so much more to do. We have introduced and stabilized our institutions of democracy. There's an active parliamentary opposition and powerful social formations that criticize government at every step. Our Constitutional Court has on various occasions ordered government to do things differently. Sometimes it has compelled government to think again when acts of parliament have been declared unconstitutional. We have a public protector. She does a marvelous job of investigating all sorts of wrongdoing. High officials have been dismissed when President Zuma has upheld her against his own appointees. More has been done against corruption under his administration than ever before. One aspect that needs attention is developing our civil service, especially at local government level. We lack accountants and auditors, teachers, nurses and doctors, and every kind of specialist, and especially managers in the frontline departments of government. We have found, to our cost, that democratic rights and trade union rights have not automatically undone the apartheid distinction between masses of low-paid workers, predominantly black, and high-paid managers and skilled workers, now not only white. The Marikana Platinum mine in Northwest Province that you've all heard about has migrant labourers living in shanties, continuing one of the worst aspects of apartheid labour relations. I'm sure you know that low wages and poor living conditions make fat profits. We as a liberation movement in power have to see the Marikana strike as a wake-up call, and so too the strike by farm workers. Sadly, many farmers find every excuse to continue to pay starvation wages, even though government has increased the statutory minimum wage from 69 rands to 105 rands per day. We have to overcome the deepest poverty. We must deal with the massive inequality in our society. There is a growing realization that we must close the gap and we have to find ways of overcoming the apartheid patterns of underemployment. Officially, there's 27% unemployment, but in reality, it's over 40%, in the formal sector. We have to break the perception that it is an iron law of economics inherited from apartheid, that all economic activity will collapse if the gap between low-paid and high-paid workers is narrowed. This is already one hell of a class struggle, and believe me, it's going to intensify. But we also need leadership from trade unions. They're among the most organized groups of people in our country, and as citizens have to be involved in transforming our country, even if they are not well paid. After all, we praise Madiba, Nelson Mandela, and our generation for the sacrifices that were made. Of course, we have to find ways of raising their incomes, but we also have to raise the incomes of low-paid workers in general. That is going to mean redistribution of incomes in the business and public sectors. We have to restructure our society from top to bottom, and we're going to need your understanding during this difficult period of transformation. This all sounds like a grim picture, but great things are also happening. There are many organizations embracing the new freedoms to encourage young people to develop their talents to the full. One of them is the Kronendal Music Academy of Hout Bay, of which I'm a patron. The founder director is a younger, highly trained music teacher. She believes that music is a universal language that can bring people together. She achieves great things among young people of all backgrounds and ethnicities. There's also an adult singing group who come together once a week, with instruments donated mainly from Britain but elsewhere too, and private funding. With some regional and national government support, the project is steadily growing. Some 130 young people are involved, and imagine, 2 of her students from shantytown backgrounds have now been accepted at University Music School. We need to reach more people. I enjoy being a patron of this program. It's a fulfillment of what I've spent my life doing, making life better and richer for our children and grandchildren, seeing them express their talents and watching their personalities develop. I've mentioned Community Heart. The director of Community Heart is Izzy McVicker, known to many of you, from Unison Glasgow branch. She's now based in Manchester and is a member of Unison's International Committee. The board of Community Heart have made me the honorary president, and Brian Filling is now the honorary deputy president after chairing the organization for many years since its inception in 1995. We're involved with rape crisis for women's rights and support, housing through Amakai and Goku, AIDS orphans through Hokisa, education and music education, and much else beside the 3 million books sent for children. By the way, in recognition of over 40 years of devoted activity against apartheid and rebuilding our country, our state president recently inducted Brian Filling into the Order of Companions of O.R. Tambo. It is our highest award for non-South Africans. And Brian agrees with me that the award is in recognition of all of you who have given us your support to achieve our freedom and to start reconstructing our country. Now Izzy needs your support. You who know me know that I never let an opportunity go by when I can ask for support for my passionate activities for the people of my country. Please dig deep into your per diems to help us generously for the Kronendal Music Academy and other projects through Community Heart. Go on, comrades. If you have a few less slugs of the great Scottish waters and donate more to our projects, our kids will be helped to feel better and reduce our hangovers. Please dig deep into your per diems. I hope to see you soon. Thank you, and I wish you a successful Congress.